Yes. This would be part 2 of 2D trig examination prep. This is November. It's from Gauteng and it's 2022. We look at the question. It says, in the diagram below, there's a person standing at point A. Person standing at point A, which is 30 meters away from point B on the same horizontal plane. The angle of elevation for the first story window would be at 15. The second story would be at 21. Determine the distance between the two windows. So they want DC, if I'm not mistaken. This would be window 1. This would be window 2. When it comes to 2D trig, we understand that the only thing that matters is the right angle. So for Gauteng, we can go with the first window quite simply. And the first story window would be 15. This would be A, B, and C. Now the first story window should be there. If it's there and we have this as 30, it's quite simple to figure out the opposite side. So we got opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. What we would do is we got the angle, we got the adjacent, and we want the opposite. So in terms of SOHCAHTOA, that's so, that's ka, and that's toa. We know we have to use tan. So part 1, tan of 15 equals to opposite over adjacent. Tan of 15 equals to opposite over 30. And then this would be 30 times tan 15 equals to opposite 30 times tan 15. Oh, why did that? Okay, yeah, it's fine. 30 times tan 15. And this equals to 8.04. So the opposite is equal to 8.04 meters. Now they gave us meters. So we're going to use meters, but it's quite simple because this is 8.04. So this one part is quite simple to deal with. Now we can decide to deal with the entire triangle. So if we deal with the full triangle like this, the full triangle would be 21. It would be D, A, and B. And we do have 30. The part we're aiming for is here to calculate the second story window. We label it as opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. And we start working, guys, because it's the same thing. We got the angle, we got the adjacent, and we want the opposite. It's the exact same thing. So tan of 21 equals to opposite over adjacent. Tan of 21 equals to opposite over 30. And then 30 times tan 21 equals to opposite. And if we deal with this, 30 times tan 21, we should get 11.5. 10, sorry guys. 52. I'll use 2 decimal places. And that should be fine. Now, we have the entirety of this is 11.52. And we only want this tiny part. So that part should be quite simple to deal with. DC should be equal to 11.52 minus 8.04. And the second story window, the distance between the two windows should be 3.48. That's the end of this question. Okay, the next question we go on with is from September 2022. This is a common paper. There's two buildings that's 45 meters apart, which is the length ED. So they gave us this is 45 meters. Okay. They're separated by a park. That's fine. A person standing on top of the shorter building A. Okay. Person standing there. Person standing there calculates the angle of elevation from of B to A, okay, is 30 degrees. And the angle of depression of D is 50 degrees. Okay, cool. So that's 50. Now, this question might seem like it's difficult. A lot of information is given. But remember, the entire point of 2D trig is to find the right angle triangles. So I found there's a right angle triangle here. There's a right angle triangle here. There's a right angle triangle here as well. So there's quite a few right angle triangles. So there's no need to panic. Determine the size of ADE. So there's A, there's D, and there's E. So they want us to find out this angle right here. ADE is that angle. Now this angle should not be very difficult because 5.1, it's only one mark, guys, so that means there's no calculations. ADE, if we look at it, we can see there is an alternate angle. Okay, so there is an alternate angle, so ADE would be equal to 50. So please remember to look for the Z. It's really important. And we can go alternate angles, but that's AC. AC is parallel to ED, right? Now, the next question is where 2D trig gets a little bit, I wouldn't say difficult, but we need to understand. They want the length of BD. So they want the length of BD. They want the entirety of this building. Now, guys, this entire building should not be difficult to deal with because there's two parts. We can deal with BC, which is there, and then we can deal with CD, which is there. Now, this one, again, I don't think it's difficult because we need to understand if this side is 45, that means this side is 45 as well. So now we have two triangles. We have two simple triangles. Let's deal with the small part first. If we deal with the tiny triangle, that's the one on the top, we end up with A, B, and C. We got 30 degrees. We got 45. We technically want you. This is what we want. So let's work with it. This is the opposite. That's the hypotenuse. That's the adjacent. We start writing. Let's move this question one out. Let's move this. Then let's move this one a little bit down, not to confuse you guys. So we want the opposite. We got the adjacent. And we got the angle. So again, we got the adjacent and we got the angle. So in terms of SOHCAHTOA, all we have to do is say, hey, tan of 30 equals to O over A. Tan of 30 equals to O over 45. 45 times tan 30 equals to O. And if we deal with this, 45 times tan 30 should be 25.98. Okay, so this is 25.98 meters. So this is 25.98 meters. Now, if we deal with the next part of the triangle, which shouldn't be too difficult as well, it's an upside down triangle, but that's fine because it doesn't matter as long as we get the hypotenuse. As long as we get the adjacent, we should be fine. Let's label it as A. Let's label it as C. Let's label it as D. AC is 45. Angle of depression is 50. And this is what we're looking for. We're looking for this side. So in terms of this question, we got opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent, and hypotenuse. And it's quite simple because now we can deal with it. We got the angle, we got the adjacent, but we want the opposite. Again, in terms of SOHCAHTOA, this uses tan. So tan 50 equals to opposite over adjacent. Tan 50 equals to opposite over 45, and 45 times tan 50 equals to opposite. So I don't know what this is, but 45 times tan 50 should be 53.63, and that's 53.63 meters. Now guys, we have the entire length because this is 53.63. And it's quite simple because all we do is add the entire length of this building. And if we add it, the length of BD equals to 25.98 plus 53.63, and that equals to 79.61. And that's the end of this question. Okay, so again, we're dealing with November 2022. This is SOHCAHTOA. And in terms of SOHCAHTOA, this is ratios. There's no numbers that we're dealing with. In the diagram, they gave us 2 right-angle triangles. Well, 3. I can see 3 right-angle triangles. I can see 1. I can see 2. And I can see this tiny one, 3. The reason I know that's a right angle is because if that's perpendicular, that's perpendicular. It's fine. Now the question says write down the ratio for cos t. So let's deal with cos t. Right? They want ACD. This is A. Let me sort it out. Okay, so this is A, that's C, that's D. That's my right angle. In terms of this would be opposite. We don't have the main angle, guys. Not opposite, hypotenuse. We don't have the main angle. That's the truth. But we do have other ratios that we can use. If you remember, I taught you guys sine is SOHCAHTOA. We understand that. That's so, that's ka, that's toa, sine, cos, and tan. But we can use other ratios as well. Sine can be y over r. Y over r is not too bad. Cos can be x over r, and tan can be y over x. Now, unfortunately, this was taught in term 1, but we will make a new video for it. There is a silly way to remember it. Shelter your rear, cause X-ray will tan your exterior. Guys, I don't feel like saying that again, but either way, I didn't make that up. Somebody did, but it works. Now, this is y. Any line that looks like this on a Cartesian plane is y. Any line that looks like that is x. And any diagonal line is r. So it's very simple to deal with this, right? Even if we're not dealing with SOHCAHTOA, that's r, x, y. In terms of this triangle, give us cos d. But again, they wanted cos d, okay? So let's go there in terms of cos d. So this r, x, and y works. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if you understand how to use it. But even if you didn't understand r, x, and y, they told us cos. They told us cos d. So in terms of cos d, that's hypotenuse, that's opposite, and that's adjacent. Okay? Cos d would be equal to A over H. So it's DC over AD, or D. Okay, let's put it as CD. CD over AD. All I did was I know that cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, so I took the two sides. Now, the next one for 3.2, 3.3.2. Guys, this y, r, x, and this thing, it's easy to use as well, depending on where the angle is, but also if you're drawing. But for now, it's fine. C, D, and E. So my triangle looks like that. That's E, that's C, and that's D. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do is they want cos D again. So in terms of cos D, we got hypotenuse, we got opposite, and we got adjacent. So here, cos D would be adjacent, which is ED, over hypotenuse, CD. The last one, if AD, where is AD? If AD is equal to, if AD is equal to 13 units, and a DC is equal to 5 units, what is the side of for DE? Now, this question might be a little bit difficult, maybe not, but we can solve it because what they told us was, if you look at it, we calculated cos D. Let me do this as 3.3. You guys calculated cos D for both of this equation. So cos D equals to cos D. Now we know cos D is equal to CD over AD. That's in terms of the first triangle, which equals to ED over CD, which is the second. They told us that AD is 13. So that's 13. They told us that DC, which is CD, the same thing, is 5. And now they just want ED. So this is just a simple question to cross multiply, right? So 5 times 5 is 25 equals to 13 ED. And if we divide by 13, ED equals to 1.92. Now, let's go back. Let's forget about all of this, right? Firstly, we know in terms of the first triangle that cos D is equal to CD over ED, this tiny part here. We also know that cos D is equal to ED, or let's go CD over AD. We know that as well. So we can make the two ratios equal. We can substitute the AD and CD, and of course we can solve for ED. But that's the end of this lesson. Okay, we'll be moving on to 2019 September. This was the common paper. There's a diagram below. It shows a spotlight at B. So B is a spotlight. I don't know how to draw a spotlight. But it's a spotlight. It's mounted 12 meters above the ground at point C. Okay, cool. The spotlight swings at 44.3 degrees there to illuminate there. Okay, cool. Now, they told us D is the midpoint of AC. That means no matter what we get here, these two are going to be equal. It's very simple to deal with because if they want us to calculate DC, all we have to do is draw separate triangles. Again, we notice that I always try and draw each triangle separately. It's easier to deal with for me. But you guys are allowed to do whatever works for you guys. That's what's more important. C and there. We know this is 44.3. 44.3. Again, I apologize. I think this is difficult for me to write. 44.3. And we can work with it quite simply. The angle I want is here, or the line I want is there rather. We can label this as opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. In terms of SOHCAHTOA, we work. it depends on what they want, but we know they want the opposite. We know we have the adjacent, and we also have the angle. In terms of SOHCAHTOA, O and A uses tan. So tan of 44.3 equals to opposite over adjacent. Tan of 44.3 equals to opposite over 12. And when we solve this, 12 times tan 44.3, when we solve this, we should end up with 11.71 meters. Let me double check. Okay. 11.71 meters. So this is 11.71. That's 11.71. And it should be fine. Now they want us to find the angle of theta. This question is very simple as well. It seems like it's complicated. There's no need to panic. Okay, this would be the full triangle for 5.1.2. This would be 12. This would be 11.71 times 2 is 23.42. 23.42. Where did I get 23.42 from? This was quite simple to deal with. There and there. We got it from here. Okay, that's quite simple. So that's the triangle we're looking at now. Okay, this full triangle is what I'm looking at. It's quite simple to deal with. We know theta is here, and let's solve it. In terms of theta, that's opposite. That's always the hypotenuse. The right angle is here, and that's adjacent. We have our opposite. We have our adjacent. We want our angle. This is what we want. Okay. Now, how do we get this? Let me just put it. How do we get this? We use tan in terms of SOHCAHTOA. So tan of theta equals to opposite over adjacent. Tan of theta equals to opposite, which is 23.42, over adjacent, which is 12. And this would be theta equals to shift tan, 23.42, over 12. And this answer should be 62.87. So I get 62.87. Now I'd like you to understand something. This entire angle is equal to 62. It's, well, the top angle, as the top angle, is 62.87. So if I want to get theta, I have to take 62.87 minus 44.3. And I should end up with 18.57 degrees. And that should be the end of this question. Okay, guys. So we have the Great Pyramid is 146. Ooh, this is 146. Okay. 146 meters tall. I apologize. I can see the picture is not clear. It's two people, A and B. There's two people, A and B. Ooh, okay, give me a second, guys. Sorry. Okay. Guys, again, I know this question's not very clear. It doesn't seem like it's very easy to deal with as well, but it's not as bad as most people would think. The Great Pyramid is 146 meters high. Two people, A and B. Okay, there's A and B. A and B. Let's see, looking at the top of the pyramid, elevation on top of the pyramid from B is 12 degrees. Okay, so that's One is 12 degrees. So that one we can draw all the way to there. Okay, cool. The distance between A and B is 25 meters. Now, again, I don't think it's very difficult. If both A and B are 1.8 meters tall, again, I don't think it's very, very, very difficult. But they say calculate the distance on the ground from B. Where is B? To the center of the base of the pyramid indicated on C. Now we have two separate triangles. We have a triangle that's going there. Let's worry about just B. We have a triangle that's going there. We have this point B, we have C, and maybe we have, we can't call this A, let's call it D. That we made our own point. Now we do have A as well. We got this is 12, but we don't have much. We don't have the full distance, and we need to figure out what it is. Now, if we look at it, the pyramid is 1 point, what's this? 46 meters high. Okay, guys. If you guys used the memo for this, you would have seen that there was a mistake in it. This guy right here is 1.8 meters tall. So we need to get the distance of this part here. We need to get this part here. Now, this one is quite easy because the entire pyramid is 146. So if it's 146 minus 1.8, it should give you 144.2. So this is 144.2 meters. And all we have to do is get BD. So if we're getting BD, it's quite simple as well, because this is opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. So let's work with 6.1. 6.1 would be, you and I got the opposite. We want the hypotenuse, and we got the angle. And in terms of SOHCAHTOA, we would use, in terms of oh, the distance on the ground. Okay, sorry guys. They want the distance on the ground, so they want the adjacent. They want the adjacent actually. In terms of SOHCAHTOA, it's 10. So it's going to be 10 of 12 equals to O over A. 10 of 12 equals to opposite 144.2 over the adjacent. Guys, again, it said they want the distance on the ground from B to the center. Please double check all answers. It's very easy for all of us to make mistakes, especially when it's not simple questions like what you've been doing before. It is the same thing, but the diagrams can be confusing. This is A equals to 144.2 divided by 10, 12. And it should be quite simple to deal with. This should be 678.41 meters. 678.41 meters. So this to here is 67. Let's do it. This to here is 678.41 meters. Now they want the angle of elevation to the top of pyramid A. The fact that we got this, it is quite simple. Again, I think the only problem was finding out the angle to work with. But let's go with, we call this point D because we made it up, C and A. Now guys, this was 1,442 meters. That's what we calculated when we minused out the guy's height. The next part is a little bit, I would say, different because we know this part here is 25. From B to there is 25. We just calculated this is 678.41. So to get AC, we plus 25. We get AC, we get plus 25, and this should be 703.41. 703.41. Yeah, that should be fine. This is my right angle. This is my theta. And there's no need to panic. That's opposite. Let's use a different color. That's opposite. That's hypotenuse. And that's adjacent. Guys, we have the opposite. We have the adjacent. We want theta. Always double check. It's very easy to make mistakes. That's tan of theta. Let's put it as tan of theta equals to opposite over adjacent. Tan of theta equals to opposite 144.2 all over adjacent, which is 703.41. And when we solve for theta, I will make another video with the basics as well, instead of just exam prep. We put this answer in, and we should end up with 11.59, if I'm not mistaken. 11.59 degrees. Let's just write it in case anybody's confused. Remember, the opposite of tan would be shift tan when you're taking it over. Just like how plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus. In this case, the tan becomes shift tan.